All right, so welcome once again to the Friday Beer Break. Thanks to our sponsors, the Toronto Festival of Beer. We're joined by my good friend, Mr. Chris Schreier
So good
from
to
the
be
Toronto
back.
Beer Blog. Great to have you back,
Oh
dude.
man, so
Awesome.
happy, so happy.
So what did you have for us today?
Today we're rocking out with the Bock out. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Amsterdam uses that all the time, but this is actually Beer Academy's Maibock, which is a German style of beer, perfect for this time of year.
Now, there's a lot of different bocks. I mean, you already mentioned Amsterdam.
Yeah.
They have the Springbok.
Yep.
Reference to the South African rugby team, probably.
Probably.
But what makes a Maibock a Maibock? Like, there's lots of different kinds in this style.
Yeah, exactly. Maibocks are brewed in the springtime, or they're brewed for the springtime specifically. MAI actually means May, and the way that it's described often is in Germany, particularly in the more middle to northern parts, in the time between when the snow melts and when the summer comes, there's actually a pretty good layoff there where it's kind of cool, but it's sunny, and you might want to go outside and be at a table, but you don't really want like a springtime or a summertime beer. You still want something a little bit headier. So you're looking at beers that are ranging 6 to 7%, but they're a bit lighter in color than their sort of more grown-up.
So this is a really old style then.
Well, fairly old. Yeah, it's made with a lager yeast, so we know it's not super old, but it definitely.
And they made lagers in caves.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah,
Lager is the German verb to age.
Yeah, very good. So this one is a thicker, heavier beer, but still kind of relatively light.
Yeah, so when you're comparing it to a German-style Pils or like a Weissbier, which would be a very traditional Bavarian summertime beer, it's a bit bigger than that. But again, compared to the box that like the monks would drink during Lent, it's not as big as that. It's in between.
It's a good, like exactly what you're saying. It's a good spring beer in between the two.
Exactly.
So where is this beer available?
This beer is available at the Beer Academy, which is on Victoria Street, and they have a brew pub. The brewery's there. You can do tours. I think they're $15 a tour, really cool tour, and they have a ton of information. The point of the Beer Academy is to sort of educate people on beer and brewing and beer culture. So they actually have a ton of really neat historical stuff. Again, the brewery you can see, and the staff. In terms of knowledgeable staff, there are other places that definitely have knowledgeable staff, but the Beer Academy staff is top-notch for knowledge.
This beer was brewed like 10 days ago.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And it's recipe 01, batch 01.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the brewers, a friend of mine, Steven, today, and he was saying that they wanted to try this style out. They're still trying to tend towards the more traditional styles of beer, but they do some things that are a bit more playful. But this is a very authentic style Maibock. One of the departures for that was that Maibocks often brewed with a sort of involved process called decoction. They weren't able to do a decoction, so they made some adaptations to the recipe.
What's a decoction?
It's removing part of the beer and actually from the mash and heating it up and then adding it back in and then doing that again. There's a variety of historical reasons why you do that, but suffice to say it's part of the process for a lot of people's bocks, although a lot of modern brewers say it's unnecessary, energy consumptive, time consumptive.
You don't question the Germans when it comes to beer, though.
Well,
unless you're Belgian, then you're
maybe,
allowed.
then you're allowed, or English. I give the English a chance.
Here, you sip that and pour that.
I was gonna say, we'll pour it out here, and you can see the color. You'll see right away what I mean. Darker than a Pils for sure, nice and clear. This one, I believe Steven said actually they.
So this is filtered. That's very clear.
No, but that's the thing. I believe he said he didn't filter it. It might just have. Oh, you know what? He told me they aged it for a month, and so I bet that month in aging,
really
a lot of
let
the
everything settle.
Settled out. And you can even see yours is going to maybe be a shade hazier than mine because I had the first half. I'll give myself some of the bottom just in case. And
let me hold these up.
They're almost the same, but you can see. I mean,
get a good shot of those.
It's not perfectly clear. It's got a bit of haze to it. The color is sort of that nice orange gold color. So again, darker than a Pilsner, not as hazy as a Weissbier. Weizenbier, but a very good springtime beer. So I'll give it a nose. I get a ton of the malt, and I get the very distinctive yeast to it.
I just got a mouthful of beer. That's what I just got.
Now,
that's a really interesting taste.
Now here's what's interesting. In terms of the yeast, you might recognize it. This is Creemore Springs lager yeast.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it's the exact same yeast. Creemore, Beer Academy are all part of Molson Coors now. And so the yeast from Creemore gets used in this beer.
It almost has a smoky taste to it.
Oh, that's interesting. You might get, it has Vienna and Munich malt, both of which are medium roasted malts. And at that point, you definitely might get some of the effects of the kilning from it.
Like when I first tasted it, the first flavor that it reminded me of is like a Schwarzenbeer. Maybe my taste buds are all off. You've been away for so long.
I know,
Look what
you're
you've
out of
done.
shape, eh?
I'm out of shape. I don't know what I'm doing. And
Well,
I'm just drinking it. I don't even know what's going on.
Taste is totally subjective. I definitely get what you're looking for in this beer is quite a bit of malty sweetness. Not too much alcohol.
There's a lot of that.
Heat. Yeah, very sweet beer. It's interesting though. It is. They say it's 39 IBU, which is the bittering, which puts it up in like pale ale category. I don't get a lot of the hop, but that's because there's a lot of malt. It also has a 90-minute boil as opposed to the more traditional 60, which is going to concentrate some of the sweetness a little bit more as well.
I'm definitely getting that maltiness, and there is a bitter aftertaste to it. It's kind of like in the same way that a English style IPA has that soft bitter afterwards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right, totally.
That's maltiness.
The bitterness is the hoppiness.
Oh my God, I'm such an idiot.
Sweetness is the maltiness. This, and you can see as you're drinking it, you shouldn't get a ton of heat, but there's a bit of an alcohol to it.
There is,
So
yeah.
If you're thinking you're wearing like your best German sweater and little alpine cap, and you're standing out in the
Always
beer
wanna
garden,
do that.
which is what the Germans call patios, and you know it's maybe 10, 12 degrees out, you know, you might kind of cool your hands off a little on it, but you could totally drink this outside in the spring months very, very comfortably.
It's great. So once again, the Maibock,
Yeah.
available at the Beer Academy.
Yeah, and you can get it in these. These are 625 ml bottles. You can get it in growlers, which are the big 64 ounce.
That's when you know you're a real
jugs.
man. And you can take the growler back to get it refilled.
Absolutely,
If you're a
that's-
friend of the environment, that's the way to go.
They encourage you, exactly. You're reusing the glass. They're very reusable. And also, in terms of moving it around, you know, you're not carrying a ton of glass. One container for, you know, 64 ounces, a pitcher worth of beer. And then also, obviously, they have it on draft at the Beer Academy. And the Beer Academy is going to have their own booth at Toronto Festival of Beer.
I was getting to that.
Sorry.
And there's
Yeah.
really no way of knowing what those guys are going to bring because they do everything.
Yeah, they have a couple of core products, I suppose, but the Beer Academy itself is just making different styles of beer constantly. They actually have a black lager, a
Yeah.
Schwarzbier on.
Which I love.
Right
If
now.
you've never had the Schwarzbier, like a lot of people get it and they think it's a stout or a porter, but it's not.
Black
it
lager.
confuses you. You drink it and you're like, this is like a lager. That's because it is a lager.
It's a smoky, roasty lager. So they have one of those on right now. They actually just did produce a more modern style. I was standing next to the heaving yeasty fermenter like less than an hour ago, and it's a Hopfenweiss, or a wheat beer that's been very heavily like American style hopped. And so that's pretty exciting. It's their standard Hefeweizen that they've just kind of cranked up a bit and then added a lot of hops too.
You know what you got to bring in soon? Something from Sawdust City, because I've teamed up with them for Session
that's
99.
right. Yep.
Are Session 99 and Toronto Festival of Beer sort of like at odds, or is it a very like, you know, friendly community?
Well, they're definitely not at odds. They're completely different festivals.
Yeah.
Toronto Festival of Beer is very
Everything, yeah.
big. It's everybody. Every brewer is going to be there. Well, maybe not every, but you get most of the brewers certainly are there. And it's a different vibe. Session is more about sort of, I don't like to call us hipsters, but it's
Yeah.
a bit of a beer geekier crowd. And
We got to get my Alison Brie in there. I'm actually getting a label done.
Yeah?
An actual label of Alison Brie riding a dolphin with a sword.
That's amazing.
It's going to be fantastic.
Is it going to be a pink dolphin?
I don't know yet.
That would be cool.
That would suit the raspberries, though.
That's what I'm thinking.
So we're gonna. What do you bring in next week? Do you have any idea yet?
I'm speculating that I'll be bringing in beer from my friends at Left Field Brewery, which is a brand new baseball-themed brewery. And I think Mark's probably going to connect me with something. We'll bring that in. They've got some neat products. And actually, they're doing Session 99 as well with a celebrity. They partnered with Dirk Hayhurst, former Blue Jays pitcher, and the Garfoofs. So
That actually like fits perfectly for them.
it's spot on. So
All right.
that's the plan.
So Toronto Festival of Beer, July 26th to the 28th. The Beer Academy is going to be there. You might be able to get some Maibock. And next week,
Left Field Brewery. It's going to be great.
it's going to be great.